Digital Concordances. This is podcast number 101. It's at the basic level and requires no knowledge of Accordance Bible software or Hebrew or Greek. Accordance is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, so I thought it'd be a good time to stop and give thanks. I'm thinking of the little things for which we should be grateful, the sort of things we now take for granted. Remember? There was a time in the not-too-distant past when the first and most valuable tool of Bible study was a good printed concordance. They were heavy and bulky, but absolutely essential. After all, if one can't find a Bible verse, then one can't study that Bible verse. Then along came digital concordances, and the world of biblical studies was turned upside down. What is a concordance? It's an alphabetical list of all of the words in a Bible. Under each word is a list of every verse in the Bible that contains that particular word. Concordances were actually only used for two different tasks. First, to locate a specific verse by using one of its words, and second, to find every verse that contains a specific word. By today's standards, these tools were pretty limited, but there sure were a lot of them. Every new Bible translation needed its own concordance. There was one for every English Bible translation, and others for Greek and Hebrew Bibles. And there were a number for many non-English language Bibles as well. A person could fill their library with nothing but these different concordances, and none of the good ones were cheap. After all, the authors of the original ones compiled their indexes before computers were available. They spent their entire lives filling out index cards with individual words and verse references, then filing them in boxes. It's a wonder those concordances weren't even pricier. Still, as useful as those tools were, they had some real disadvantages. They were bulky if comprehensive, but inadequate if abridged, like those in the back of most study Bibles. All of them were limited to a single Bible translation and confined to displaying just a small snippet of each verse. Finally, all of them were restricted to lists of single words as they indexed neither multiple words nor phrases. Then along came Bible software programs like Accordance, and the world of biblical studies changed overnight. Digital concordances, or search engines like Accordance, burst on the scene more than 2 decades ago. In fact, the word accordance is derived from the word concordance, as that was the primary tool it was designed to replace. Think concordance plus all your Bible study tools working in one accord, like the saints in Acts 2:4. Now, accordance wasn't fire from heaven, but it sure was a breath of fresh air for biblical studies. Originally available only on Mac desktop computers, it eventually made its way to laptops, smartphones, tablets, and yes, even Windows computers and tablets. These digital concordances had a lot of advantages. Speed. We could find any word in every verse almost instantly. Versatility. We could use one concordance for every Bible we owned. Power. We could search for phrases and word combinations. Efficiency. We could copy and paste search results directly into a word processor. No more typing long lists of references and verse snippets. And price. They cost less than a couple of printed Bibles and their related concordances. Accordance has evolved over the years, gaining new features with every revision. Here's just a couple of them, specifically related to its original function as a digital concordance, and I am thankful for every single one. Accordance allows us to search by any word, phrase, or combination of words. We can search for just a single word like thanks, a phrase like thank God, or a verse that contains several words like thank and God. We can also add as much context or as little as needed. Accordance can display just the verses it found, or add verses before and after it. We adjust the amount of context on the fly using this slider. Switch between various Bibles, texts, and translations easily. Search for joy in the King James Version. Then switch to the ESV and search for it there. Prefer the New King James Version? Not a problem. Is your favorite Bible the NRSV? We've got you covered. Accordance has many different original language Bibles, English translations, and other Bibles in many, many different languages. Searching by phrase makes everything easier. It's easy to find a verse if it contains an unusual word, but what if it contains mostly common words? For instance, the phrase "He is Lord" is found only 3 times in the King James Bible, but the 3 individual words are very common. He appears 10,431 times. Is appears 6,992 times, and Lord appears 7,836 times. Phrase searching makes finding just those 3 occurrences I want easy. Let's switch to the Windows version of Accordance to show off the next 2 features. Accordance includes both exact and flex searches. An exact search finds only the exact word we enter. Search for was, and every verse with was appears. However, Accordance also has a flex search, which finds every common variation of a noun or verb. Flex search for was, and Accordance finds every form of the verb to be. The analysis pane tallies our results, showing us we found a total of 11 different forms. Now, I really doubt anyone will be studying the word to be, but what about locating every verse that contains a variation of the word love? Wouldn't that be useful? Accordance also includes a traditional concordance view. If you decide you miss those lists with the little snippets of verses in your old concordance, Accordance does have one available. The difference is that we can copy any section we need and paste it into another program. We can also customize it to display the results however we want. How's that for a digital concordance? I hope you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane. I know some of our younger scholars have never used printed concordances. On the other hand, I've studied under senior scholars who never knew anything else. In my mind, digital concordances rank right up there with some of the other great technological innovations that have advanced the field of biblical studies. Microfilm and microfiche, photocopiers, computers, and web-based internet research. I'm grateful for all of them. Now just imagine the kinds of tools the next generation will use. This has been Dr. J for Accordance Bible Software. Thank you for watching this episode of Lighting the Lamp.